Setting up exams for DSS students. You may have a DSS student enrolled in your course. They may need special accommodations such as extended time when taking exams in Blackboard. If you have a student who needs extended time when taking an exam in Blackboard, follow these instructions to set up a test exception that will allow the student extra time when completing the test. To set up your tests for students, you must access your test options. To access these test options, the test must be deployed or linked to in a content area or learning module. Linking to these tests in a learning module allows you to present a test to a student. If your test is already linked to within a learning module, follow these steps to access the test options. Click the arrow to the right of the test. Select the Edit Test options on the menu that appears. This will open the test options page where you can set all the test presentation options that control how your test will be viewed by your students. Set test availability options. Set up your test availability options as desired for the majority of the test takers in your course. This includes making the test link available, deciding whether to allow multiple attempts, deciding whether to allow forced completion, setting the test timer, determining whether to turn auto submit on or off, setting the display after and display until dates, which control test availability by determining when a test will appear in a learning module and when it will disappear from student view. For more information on setting test availability options, please visit the Blackboard Learning Center and consult Lesson 2 in the Blackboard Assessments and Assignments course. Set test availability exceptions. Set up test availability exceptions to allow additional time for DSS students. Under Test Availability Exceptions, click the Add User or Group button. The Add User or Group window appears. Click the checkbox to the left of each student who needs additional time. Click the Submit button on the bottom right-hand corner of the Add User or Group window. You will return to the Test Options screen. Under Test Availability Exceptions, you will see the name of each student you have selected on the previous screen. In the columns to the right of the students' names, you will see options to set the number of attempts, the timer, and the test availability window. Please note that the selections that you apply to the right of each student's name are exceptions that are only applicable to that student. Thus, you can allow multiple attempts, extended time, a longer date range, etc., and those selections only apply to that specific student. You also have the ability to set up different test availability exceptions for various students who have different DSS needs. To allow double time for a student, type the desired time in the timer field. Please note, this field allows you to enter the length of the test in minute increments only. For example, if you're allowing the majority of test takers in your course 1 hour to complete the exam, Their allotted test taking time is 60 minutes. To set up the test to allow appropriate time for DSS students, you would need to type 120 minutes into the timer field to the right of the student's name in the test availability exceptions window. Blackboard will then give that student 2 hours to complete the exam. In the example above, regular time for the test is 15 minutes. To set up double time for a DSS exception is 30 minutes. Click Submit on the test options screen. The test will be deployed with the test availability options that you have selected for your regular students, along with the test availability exceptions that you have selected for DSS students. How to deploy a test in the learning module. Follow these directions to deploy an exam in a learning module to share the test with your students. To link to your test in a learning module, click the course content link on the left-hand side of the course tools menu. This brings you to the course content page in your development site. Click the link of the learning module where you would like to deploy the test. Move your mouse over the assessment button. Click the test link on the menu that appears. This opens the Create Test screen. Your test should appear in the Add Test box. Select the test and click Submit. After clicking Submit, you are brought to the Test Options screen. This is where you set test presentation options for your students. Follow the directions earlier in the tutorial to set the test availability exceptions for DSS students. Then click Submit.